Introducing the Alberni Bam Bam. It's a stunning 450-kilometer bikepacking route on the south end of Vancouver Island. It follows gravel roads, old double track, decommissioned logging roads, and a little bit of single track to keep things spicy.
My name is Miles Zarber, and I'm an editor with bikepacking.com.
The route forms a clockwise loop from the east side of Vancouver Island to the west side, starting and ending in Nanaimo, British Columbia. From Nanaimo, it quickly leaves the city and heads south towards Lake Cowichan in the Cowichan Valley. From Lake Cowichan, you continue to head south to the west side of the island.
The end of day 2, close to the island. We left Cowichan Lake, went to Gordon River. We didn't take the pavement. No, we did not. We'll be at camp in T-minus tonight.
I think I'm ready to go to camp.
From there, the route travels up to Port Renfrew, which is a small kind of coastal community. It's a great spot to resupply. There's a cafe and a general store. And that's sort of, in my opinion, where the route starts. Because from there, you head inland slightly to the Walbran Valley, which is one of the last remaining old-growth forests on Vancouver Island. There are trees along the route that are upwards of 1,000 years old, including Big Lonely Doug, which is right on the route. There's beautiful camping along emerald pools.
Tomorrow is going to be harder than we want it to be. That's okay.
After leaving the Walbran Valley, the Alberni Bam Bam route travels alongside Ditnat Lake for a short little section before heading west back to the coast to the town of Bamfield. Bamfield is about the halfway point for the route, and it's a delightful place to take a rest day. We stopped at Flora's restaurant for a bite to eat.
It's very delicious.
There's kind of the east side and west side of Bamfield. They're not connected by roads, so you have to take a boat taxi.
Introduce yourself if you want. I don't know.
Across to the west side if you want to check it out, which is definitely worth doing because Brady's Beach is on that side and it's beautiful. From Bamfield, the route takes the Francis Barclay boat from the Lady Rose Marine to Port Alberni. So this is a regular boat run that they do 3 times a week all year round. So there's no special booking or private charters needed like the Treaty Sea Loop. It's a 4-hour sailing from Bamfield to Port Alberni. Once in Port Alberni, there's another opportunity to take a rest day or a rest afternoon. There's accommodations and restaurants there, so that's one of the bigger kind of communities on the route.
From Bamfield to Port Alberni, it turned out to be a very hot day. We roasted on that boat. So we didn't make it very far once we got to Port Alberni. We did find a lovely little creek, and we are camped here for the evening to reassess tomorrow.
From there, the route travels up to Horn Lake before looping back down towards Englishman River and Parksville.
We're trying to get our way to Horn Lake. We hit a little bit of a decommissioned road and are hiking our bikes for a bit. That's just all part of the fun.
Coombs is a quirky little town on the side of the highway. It's a tourist trap. And there's a bunch of restaurants. On one side of the wall, there's kind of like hot dogs and hamburgers, and on the other side, there's a gourmet pizza place. After Coombs, the route heads into Englishman River Falls Provincial Park, which is a campground that you can reserve at, but unfortunately, there's not any cyclist-only sites. When we showed up, there were no sites available for us. Some local riders said we would have no problem camping just inside from the parking lot. It's important to be flexible when bikepacking anywhere in the world, but especially on Vancouver Island. So if you can reserve a spot, if not, just be ready to potentially camp not an established campground. After a night at Englishman River Park, the route primarily follows logging roads east towards Nanaimo, where the route begins. The route ends at the ferry terminal in Nanaimo at Departure Bay, so folks traveling from the city can hop right on. There's options for accommodations in Nanaimo as well if you're spending some time there. The Alberni Bam Bam is 450 kilometers long, and although that doesn't sound like a really long route, the amount of varied terrain and the elevation gain along the route really slows your progress down. So most people can probably expect to ride it between 6 and 8 days. This isn't an introductory bikepacking route by any means.
Say no walk in the park.
I think for our group, we'd all agree that some of the highlights for us were all the swimming opportunities on the route. Thankfully, there's a lot of private swimming opportunities, so swimsuits aren't mandatory, but it's good to have one in case you end up at a public beach. You're pretty much always riding beside a river or a creek or some sort of beach, so it makes it easy to get away with carrying kind of 2 to 3 liters of water per person. One thing that makes the route especially friendly is just the amount of resupply on the route. So there's quite a few small communities that you pass through with general stores and gas stations, which makes resupply really easy. At a lot of the general stores on the route, they have full kitchens, so there's hamburgers and hot dogs almost always available. I think we resupplied almost every other day. Bamfield was definitely a highlight for us because we had our best meal of the route there at Flora's restaurant overlooking the inlet, which was super special. Just in terms of the terrain it follows. There turned out to be a lot of narrower, slightly lesser used roads, ATV tracks, little single track sections outside of Nanaimo, as well as Port Alberni. The little mountain passes that you do where it gives you cool views up top and followed by epic descents. It really is a good taste of what bikepacking is like in coastal British Columbia.